Welcome back. It's Dr. Jennifer Boney, better known as DocJenFit, doctor of physical therapy and owner and founder of Gen Health, your one-stop for all aches and pains that you can search for free. Anything that you need, whether it's core, mobility, strength related, or pain related, we have you covered on Gen Health. Now, today I want to take you through a mobility flow for probably the two most neglected areas, which is our wrist and our ankle. But when we address these areas, we can have pain-free push-ups, do planks on our hands without needing extra support or modifications, and get lower into our squats. Let's get into it. The first one I'm going to do is a calf smash. Now, where I'm going to show you how you can just use your hands to kind of nudge through and mold through your calves. And that's going to be a little intense. However, if you do have available some balls, now I love the Tune Up Fitness balls. These are the therapy balls. They have a little bit of give and some really good surface, but you can also keep them in a tote like this so they're connected, or like two tennis balls if you have them taped together, a little more squishy, but you can always use that as well as we're going through this. Now, so that's just an option I'm just speaking about, but we're going to use our hands. Now you can just focus on one and not having to do them both at the same time. But what we're trying to do here is we don't want to be in intense pain. We just want to feel some pressure and maybe some moderate intensity and breathe into that. So starting to relax the tension of those muscles. So find some areas that feel like, ooh, that's a little intense, and see how you can just use that pressure to help to down-regulate the system. So we're not breaking anything up. We can't break up fascia, but we can help with slide and glide. We can help with circulation, and just by using pressure in an area, we can help to switch the brain to reduce some of that tension. So this is why I kind of like it prior to doing some extended long stretches, and then you can do the other side. And again, if you are like, I just want to get right into it, you could do both at the same time. That's fine. And I just want to show you as well, if you were to use the balls, you would just have them up, and then you can just kind of roll and lean into it that way. So that is a little bit easier because you don't have to use your hands, and you get like kind of a bonus hamstring stretch as well. And that one just, it feels so good. So using your hands, and again, there's no like particular time, but take your time going through this. Like, where does it feel a little bit more intense, a little bit tighter, where you're like, ooh, I can breathe into that. And as you're kind of massaging, stretching, doing anything, you want to think of like you're going to get that massage, and if you just think of like a spa, and you're like, that's the energy you want to bring to any soft tissue work and stretching and mobility, because that's what's going to help to switch our system to actually start to create real change. So make sure that we're not in that really like, oh, I'm fighting it, it's painful. We don't want that. Okay, now we'll go into our first stretch. So this is a ankle dorsiflexion stretch, and then we're going to make it a little active. So you're going to take your foot in front, and I like to use the hand with it. So I'm going to take my opposite hand, push down on top of my ankle. So I'm going to push down on top of my ankle and kind of pull down and in as I draw my knee up and over. And I really want to take my body weight, my arm, my leg, as if my heel is going to pop off the floor. My hand is going to try to keep my foot stable and steady that entire time. Okay, so it's kind of like pushing back and down as I'm trying to lean forward. And that kind of gives you a similar mobilization that we would do as physical therapists. So you get to do it on yourself. Now, a bonus stretch for those who have noticed, and we're going to hold this for about a minute, so I'll talk to you a little bit as we hang out here. Now, a bonus stretch for those who might be seeing it is my back toes. I am getting some toe mobility at the same time. This is not mandatory. If you want to try it with me, kick off your shoes and socks. Actually, I should have said all mobility. We're doing barefoot, right? Really getting in open and into our body. But pressing down into that foot, leaning over into that knee, and relax. And so whatever you need to kind of put pressure. And for some people, you might need that heel to pop up a little bit more. That's okay if you can get into that stretch. Now, here's what I also want to say. We can come out of that a little bit. Is if this is your first time ever doing a low ankle stretch like this, don't go the max intensity. I want moderate intensity again, because I don't want to hear any complaints after if that was too intense. So a little, not as max, not as like feeling like you're going to rip your Achilles off. Okay. Now from here, we're going to back off just a little bit, and I want to do some active lift. So I'm going to try to think of pulling my toes toward my shin and hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax, rock forward, and then pull it back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax it and pull it back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come forward. Pull it back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we'll switch sides. Okay. And now going into the other ankle. So again, I'm taking my opposite hand, putting it on top of my ankle and pushing back and down as I allow that knee to come forward. And if you can, your toes are tucked under, you're getting a little toe stretch. At the same time, you're really just trying to hang out into that knee, getting that ankle stretch. Ease into this. So don't go too aggressive, but start to breathe. Use your breath. So even a stretch puts tension onto our tissues. So that's why if you haven't done this before, loading even in a aggressive stretch can have some, tissue feelings and sensitivities after. So we want to be careful of how aggressive we're going, especially into passive stretches. Now, if you are someone who's more hypermobile and you're doing passive stretches, all you want to think about is that you're really using your breath. You're not going maybe into your max range of motion, but you're just using your breath to help turn off any muscle guarding and tension that might be causing you to restrict that full range of motion. So we're just trying to restore that range of motion in a more functional way. So really using that breath, down regulating, not going too aggressive into our tissues, but paying attention. Where do I feel a stretch? How can I use my breath to start to progressively ease into it? And then after a minute, I'm going to come off of that a little bit, pull those toes back. They don't actually have to come off the ground fully. 4, 3, 2, 1. Rock forward. We'll do it again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Really pull it back. That's how we get that active component. And then pull. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rock it forward and pull. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one. Rock forward and pull it back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now we'll just do one more on each side. So again, getting a little bit of a smash into that. Relax that tissue tension. Working on those long, slow exhales. Remembering to come back to those long, slow exhales more often throughout the day. All right, we're always usually running through our days, super tense. Got a lot to do. The to-do list never ends. I feel that. Okay. So we're just trying to help the body start to learn how to find those areas on its own of tissue tension release without having to rely really on anything else besides ourselves, which is the goal. How can I do that for myself? Okay, then we'll take that foot in front, have that hand down, lean into it if you can for that bonus toe stretch. Get into those toes. Now, we need toe extension every step that we take. And a lot of times we're just not getting that full toe extension. There's a lot of things that can go into it. So especially to help reduce tension at the bottom of the foot, one of the best ways, and I kind of talk about this with the back, right? If we want to address the back and releasing tension, we're addressing the hips, we're addressing the upper back. So it's the same with the ankles and the foot. If I'm having, repetitive plantar fasciitis, repetitive pain in the bottom of my foot, have I addressed what's happening at my toes and what's happening at my ankles? This is so crucial and essential to always be thinking what's happening above and below that could be putting more tension right along the area. Okay. Then after about a minute, I come off and I pull back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rock and pull. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rock into it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And rock. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, especially with ankles, it is going to take time to improve our ankle mobility. So this doesn't happen from just doing it this once. Unfortunately, I know that's not the best to hear, right? We have to come back and do this over and over and consistently to really start to see and feel change within our movements. Notice that our squats are suddenly so much easier, or maybe I'm having less foot pain or having less knee pain because I'm paying attention to my ankles, something that we often neglect, right? And it takes time. And so that's why hanging out here, getting that spending that time in your ankles, at least a minute, not just a few seconds, not just 30 seconds. It's usually not enough time to help to downregulate that system, really get into that tissue tension, progressively starting to increase that load and that stretch over time. That's what we need to help to start to make change in those ranges of motion. It just takes time. Okay. Then we'll pull those toes back. Pull up 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rock into it. Pull 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rock. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to test what we just did. Now we're going to get into a low squat here. So this is where you got to know your own body. There's no one place that you have to be. Kind of walk out your feet to what feels good for you. If your ankles are super, super stiff, you can put like a small book, a small plate underneath your heels to have a little bit of support. You can also hold on to a pole. You can hold on to a sturdy surface. So I can hang on to kind of my couch here if I need to. We're going to hold this for about a minute. Now, if you're like, absolutely not, that hurts my low back or that hurts something, you can start where you can. Go to what you can do. Maybe it's 10 seconds at first. Maybe it's 30 seconds at first. A minute is what we ultimately want to start working up to. This helps to melt into those hips. It's okay if you're butt winked and you're rotated under. We need that full range of motion in our back, in our pelvis, in our hips, in our ankles, and just being able to hold there eventually without any kind of support. So just holding this position. If you don't have anything supporting you, you'll probably start to feel a lot working in the shins, but that's good. That's that active range of motion in our ankles. That's what's helping to create that lasting change. Okay. So really being able to get into a deep squat is so functional and something that in our modern world, we're missing so often. So try to work up to this. Getting into a minute, I think, can be so beneficial in many different ways, not only for our ankles. Now we're going to get into our wrists. So we're going to do a wrist extension stretch. So pulling our fingers back behind you. If you are a hypermobile person and you kind of lock out your arms, rotate your elbows so they're facing forward and have a slight bend. So they might look straight still to others, but they're not going to be locked out and hyperextended. So kind of have a little relaxed position. Again, if you want to stretch those toes, you don't have to. Start to lean back until you feel a stretch. So whatever that means to you, just start to lean back. And again, we're finding that moderate stretch and using our breath to progressively ease into it. You don't need to go super hard. You don't need to go really aggressive. And we're holding this for about a minute. Using our breath. So I like to say the breath is around my rib cage area. So really inhaling, exhaling. Now, if you are super tight in your wrist, like it hurts to do planks, it hurts to do push-ups. Maybe you spend a lot of time at your computer and you're typing a lot. This is where, similar to the calf calf smash that we did at the start, you can also do that into your forearm. So whether it's using your other forearm on top of your forearm to kind of relax tension, or whether it's using balls or a tool to help relax tension before you go into the stretch, that could be a really good thing to add in as well. Totally optional, but something that you can do. And relaxing tension through the forearms as well is really crucial when we're talking about anything with carpal tunnel or preventing carpal tunnel, especially if you work at a desk. So something I would consider. Okay, so now I'm going to flip my fingers forward, come on top of them a little bit more. So again, I don't want to lock out my elbows, so I want to have a slight bend. I'm going to lean into my fingertips. So I'm going to push my fingertips, and I want to lean until you feel like you can't really go forward anymore. So for some, it might be a little further back. For others, you're like, okay, that's where my range of motion is. I'm going to push into my fingertips and push down. I'm going to use my body, but I'm going to press from the ground to come up and then slowly come down. Press up and slowly down. Now, again, if you're hypermobile, you need to watch those fingers. We're pushing into the fingertips, but I don't want to cause any hyperextension through my joints in my fingers. So make sure that you're kind of like gripping something. We just want that tension bent. You might need to bend your fingers a little bit more. You might need to use your upper body a little bit more, but it's up and it's slow on the way down. It's up and it's slow. I lost count completely. We're doing 10 of them. So we focus on 10 of them. Slow on the way down. We don't often think about wrist push-ups, but this eccentric getting into that range of motion helps to create that long-term range of motion. So again, after every passive stretch, how are we making it active so that it actually translates into real movement? So starting with the fingers back again, inhaling, exhaling, have a slight bend in those elbows, and just get into that range of motion. Inhaling from that rib cage, exhaling. Not going too aggressive at first, but just starting to progressively use that breath to downregulate the system and start to create change. Again, change takes time. And that's why I come back to this and I hold it. And this is where it's like, even if I just stood up at my desk sometimes and placed a hand on my desk and leaned back and then did the other, could I take a 2-minute break and do that? Can I place my hands, my fingers on the table and then do some presses on the table? Like, how can I add this into my day where I start to make it more of a habit? Especially for those who know that they need it, which you know who I'm talking about, those who are getting that painful wrist or that carpal tunnel feeling. We need to start addressing what's happening at those wrists, at what's happening through those forearm muscles. It's so crucial. So after about a minute, we're going to flip it over and we're going to make it active. So unlock those elbows slightly, lean forward into those fingertips, coming up and slow on the way down. 2, 3, go into as much range of motion at the bottom as you can. 4, slow on the way down. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10, and into it. Whoo, now you're ready for handstands. Just kidding. But those wrists are nice and warmed up. Great work in taking the time to actually start to feel what it is to do those stretches for the adequate time to really make change in the body. And I hope that you continue to work on this. Now, if you want a full body mobility plan to follow where you don't have to think, you don't have to come back, you just press play and show up, and it's going to take you through the entire body from the wrist all the way down to the ankles and toes. I'd highly recommend our full body mobility plan in Gen Health. And you can get started on this 30-day, just our phase 1 of our 30-day mobility plan by using code OPTIMAL at checkout, and you'll get in for just $20. So go check it out. Don't forget, if you love what you're learning, I have so much more in stock for you. So hit that subscribe button, check out the other videos I've done in the past, and leave any comments of any suggestions that you have for videos in the future. And I can't wait to help you feel incredible and amazing within your body.